Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Owen talks about sports and movies. Thank you for checking out today's video. I always appreciate the support. Now let's get into it. So after Alfred Molina officially confirmed that he will be reprising his role as Dr. Octopus in MCU Spider-Man's 3 No Way Home, it is pretty much set in stone that they really are going to do the multiverse thing in Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm a little apprehensive about it. I'm just going to react to this news and what I think it means for the potential story of this movie and impact of the MCU and honestly of just superhero movies in general going forward. But make sure you leave your thoughts on this comment below. If you're excited about it, make sure you leave your thoughts down below or whatever thoughts you have. But let's get into it. So like I said before, I am a little apprehensive about doing Spiderverse already in Spider-Man 3. Let me make this clear. I am not opposed to the idea of a Spiderverse movie. In fact, I think it's actually a wonderful idea. I think it would be so smart of Marvel and Sony to go forward with this idea. However, the only reason I am a little apprehensive about this idea is that I really just want the identity crisis Peter is facing at the end of Far From Home to be resolved in this movie. That is the number one thing I want out of this movie. I think that this is a super unique opportunity to tell a truly unique Spider-Man story, especially for a character that we've been flooded with since the turn of the 21st century. I mean, 4 different franchises: Maguire, Garfield, Holland, animated Spider-Verse. Throw Venom in there if you want to. I mean, that's 4 to 5 different franchises, all based and around one character. And, you know, there are some retread type story beats and everything like that. And I believe that if they deal with this identity crisis and they put it at the forefront of a story, that's a really, really super unique opportunity to tell a really, really awesome, different type of story. And I just am worried that, and Spider-Man movies are famously plagued for this, Spider-Man 3, Amazing Spider-Man 2, for just having too many people and having too much going on in the movie. Just way too much going on. And I don't want that to happen to this movie. Now, granted, this is Marvel Studios we're talking about. This is Disney we're talking about. If someone's going to pull it off right, it's going to be them. Sony's not in charge of the story. All right. So I'm like, you know what? Like, I think it's going to be okay. All right. But if they can pull off the multiverse stuff and dealing with Peter's identity crisis, that's perfectly cool. And I'm like, you know what? Perfect. But I want that to be the number one focus of the movie is Peter trying to deal with his identity crisis. And if this multiverse stuff adds to the diversity and or helps him overcome it, then I'll be game for that. However, I want Peter to be able to clear his name and be able to accept the fact that his identity is out there by himself. All right, there's a lot of MCU Spider-Man complaints about, oh, he's Iron Boy Jr. Oh, he's Iron Lad. You know, he's not really Spider-Man. All right, and this movie and the concept I have for it, or the concept available there, can honestly put a lot of those criticisms to bed. All right, obviously MCU Spider-Man is still not perfect, but that can be a valid criticism that can be basically put to bed. And that would be awesome to see. All right. Now, as far as how I feel about Alfred Molina specifically coming back as Doc Ock, I think it's cool. I think it's cool they're doing all this multiverse stuff. It didn't really get me all excited. All right. The Maguire Raimi trilogy that's not my favorite Spider-Man entry. Doc Ock's not even my favorite villain from that trilogy. I would probably put him third, maybe fourth if you consider Harry Osborn's Green Goblin to be a real villain, but he's below Green, Norman Osborn Green Goblin and Sandman, just as my personal favorite. Are probably the best in the entire trilogy, but just not my personal favorite. So it wasn't something really excited. Got me out jumping on my seat. I would have rather preferred a new villain, but if they do this multiverse stuff right, that's gonna be fine. So, to the best of my understanding, this Doc Ock is coming from a version of the Raimi universe where he doesn't die. So he's not coming straight from the Sam Raimi universe, but a version of that universe where he doesn't die. That's to the best of my understanding. If that's not correct, someone please clear that up in the comments. I would like to be informed. So he's confirmed. Obviously, Tom Holland, Zendaya, Ned Lee's, or Jacob. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say his last name. The guy that plays Ned, and I'm pretty sure Jon Favreau as Happy Hogan are the only characters that have been 100% confirmed for Spider-Man No Way Home. They haven't released any story details or anything like that, but obviously with Dr. Molina or Alfred Molina coming back as Doc Ock, obviously they're doing some little multiverse stuff. So, like I said, I think it will be interesting if they do this multiverse stuff. Okay, like let's say if Toby and Andrew are in this, I think they'll come straight from their universes where like everything we see in the movies is concurrent. But if someone like Green Goblin, Electro, Sandman, those guys come back, I think there'll be versions of the characters from a version of the universe that they came from, except they didn't die or they won or whatever. So, for example, if William Dafoe's Green Goblin comes back, he'll come from a version of the Sam Raimi Maguire universe where he doesn't die or he beats Parker. Same thing with Jamie Foxx's Electro. I would honestly, I'm probably, if I get a good look at Electro, I'm like, dang, that's a good look like this one over on the right is. Then I'd probably be more excited to see Electro than Doc Ock just because Doc Ock was nailed in Spider-Man 2, and I would like to see Jamie Foxx, a super talented actor, get a chance to really nail a character I think he was very passionate to work with. Honestly, I thought this movie was not going to have anything multiverse, but it is sandwiched between, it is the biggest project sandwiched between WandaVision and Doctor Strange, and the beginning and the end of the multiverse saga. So, I could see why they totally want to get this multiverse and put it in this movie. This is a huge project. I mean, this is Spider-Man. Undoubtedly one of the top 3 most iconic superheroes of all time. He's right up there with Superman and Batman. If you want to toggle between those 3 as the most iconic, honestly, I don't have an argument. I can accept that. But so a Spider-Man title is always huge. This is a big event they're trying to set up. This is something huge they're trying to get. And I get that they're trying to display it to the biggest audience possible, and I appreciate that. I'm just a little worried. As far as other people that might be in the movie, Doctor Strange, Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock. I would really like to see Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock. If it's a rebooted version, that's fine. If it's just a regular, the continuation of the Netflix, but I'm pretty sure they would be rebooted. That'd be cool. If Doctor Strange is in the movie, I only want him to serve as someone who is going to fix all this multiverse stuff. I don't want him to be another Tony Stark figure to Peter Parker, mainly because I get it, he's a 16-year-old kid. He probably needs parental guidance, but as far as just Spider-Man proving to himself that he doesn't need that, I would like to see Doctor Strange just be there to just kind of fix all this multiverse stuff, send all these people back or anything, something like that. I'm really excited to see if Toby and or Andrew are in this movie as their versions of Peter Parker. They're both great. I like parts of their Spider-Man. I dislike both parts of their Spider-Man. Same thing with Tom. I'm very excited at the prospect of having a Spiderverse movie and having all these people come back. I'm just a little worried that is going to overtake a storyline that I'm really excited to witness and see potentially, but I'm just gonna have to wait till December to see what comes out. So basically, while this Alfred Molina confirming his Doc Ock stuff is cool, I am a little worried that the multiverse stuff will be precedent over the story that I think should be told, but it's Marvel Studios. I've got faith they're gonna do it right, and we're just gonna have to see in December. And if they can pull all this off, nail it, this is gonna be arguably one of the most ambitious superhero projects of all time, and potentially one of the best ones. So thank you for checking out today's video. I always appreciate the support. I hope that didn't get long-winded. Make sure you leave your thoughts on all this Spider-Verse No Way Home stuff. I'm really interested to see what you guys think about it. Check out the link content. Have a great